It's 3 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, June 28th. It's 3 o'clock p.m. And a copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the north wall of the county boardroom. Ask everybody to silence their cell phones. And we have present Commissioner Warren, Commissioner Klug, and Commissioner Burmeister. Also, the County Administrator, Dan Hoins, the County Clerk, Deb Houghtaling is present.
We don't need anybody else today.
Okay, perfect. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, you. You're here. Good.
We'll move on to the consent equalization agenda, item 4.1. The minutes are on the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Warren and seconded by Commissioner Klug to approve the consent agenda. Please vote.
A's for, absent Kelly.
All agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Equalization is adjourned.
Give me 1 minute. Okay.
We'll call to order the Board of Commissioners meeting. This is still June 28th, Tuesday, 2022, at 3:02 p.m. We have present Commissioner Mixon, Commissioner Warren, Commissioner Klug, and Commissioner Burmeister, County Administrator Dan Hoins, and County Clerk Deb Houghtaling. The first item on the agenda is awards and proclamations. We have item 3.1 Core Values Award presentation for Andy Horst and Mike Sharp. Dan Hoins, County Administrator.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Mr. Horst had a conflict, so we'll have to push him back to another one. But we do have Mr. Sharp here today. He's a surveyor for Sarpy County. Was submitted from the Public Works Department, Mike Sharp. Just a couple of comments from the submission. And be consistent with survey work. I'm guessing that he has meticulous research, many of the major projects going on. He has great attention to detail, and I think the kind of the most important one that we can all rest assured that we/Mike are doing our best to stay on top of vacations, dedications as our county continues to grow. And the three specific core values that Mike was recognized by his coworkers for: service, vision, and inclusion. So today we have with Mike, if you can make your way up, Dr. Denny Wilson, County Engineer, will be doing the presentation on behalf of the Public Works Department.
Hard to juggle, isn't it? Well, I want to thank the board and certainly Dan Hoins for giving us this opportunity to present an award to Mike. I've known Mike probably 20-some years. He was not working for us at the time that we first met, but since that point in time, I've had the opportunity to see what kind of work this gentleman does, and it certainly does fit within our core values. Mike had come on board with us and immediately advanced our survey capabilities tremendously. We utilize drones, which help us to get things laid out very quickly and very efficiently and accurately. He also got together with the IS department, made sure they could put up some of the locations, because these are satellite type operations that we work with now. And those are accurate within just fractions of a centimeter. So those types of things are the innovation that this gentleman has shown us. He also is respected in his profession, certainly by all of the people who are with PSAN, which is the Professional Surveyors Association, and also working with the other people here within the county. I have been impressed with his work. You can imagine with how many plats we have received over the last, how long have you been there, Mike?
About 11 and a half years.
11 and a half years. We have a lot of plats, and he has to review each one of them to determine whether or not the information on those are accurate. He's caught most that I know of anyway, but with the regard to that and other associated talents and skills he has, I just want to say congratulations to you on this award.
Come on over. So speech is required, Mike. Do you have anything you'd like to say, Mike, or are you good?
No, that's fine. I appreciate it. Thank you for it.
Okay. Yeah.
We enjoy the appointment.
Next is Commissioners and Administrator comments. Commissioner Mixon?
None.
No comment. No comments, thank you.
Hoins?
Madam Chairman, we won't be meeting next week, 4th of July holiday, so the next time we'll convene will be July 12th.
Sounds right.
On to the Commissioners' consent agenda. Would anyone like anything removed from the consent agenda? I'd like to move 5.8, which is Resolution 2022-162, to the regular agenda.
Motion to approve is amended.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Klug and seconded by Commissioner Mixon to move item 5.8. Any comments? Please vote.
Oh, that, Commissioner Warren, oh, there you go. Okay, Ayes 4, absent Kelly. Sorry about that, I lost my train of thought.
Whoever that guy is.
Okay. Where did we move? We moved 5.8.
So item 5.8, Resolution 2022-162, appoint Trace Jones to the Veterans Service Committee for a 5-year term beginning July 1, 2022, and ending June 30, 2027. Matthew McDonald, Veterans Services Director.
So every year, a position comes open on the Veteran Service Committee, and we solicit input from all the veteran service organizations across Sarpy County. And every year, we get several nominees, and always it's a very difficult choice. But in this case, Trace has done a tremendous job in my position for 3 years as a Chief Master Sergeant with 28 years of experience in the service, and as he continues on in the VFW. So he's just an awesome asset, and I always appreciate his input and his advice and his guidance. So really excited that he wanted to continue on in this position.
Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Klug and seconded by Commissioner Warren to approve. Any discussion? Please vote. And if I can have the commissioners go down front, I'd like to call Greg Benden up.
Let me call the vote. Hold on, may I call the vote?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Ayes 4, absent Kelly.
We just wanted to say to Greg Benden, who served 5 years on the committee, to tell him that we appreciate his service and his dedication to veterans, and also to present him with Sarpy County coin that Don Kelly will force you to do something bad if he catches you without it in your pocket. So thank you so much for your years of service. We really appreciate it. Item 6.1 is a public hearing and recommendation to the Liquor Control Commission for Indigo Cottage Crafts LLC, DBA Pinspiration, Sarpy County, for a Class C beer, wine, distilled spirits on and off sale liquor license for a business at 2063 Creekside Drive, number 119, Papillion, Nebraska 68046. Randy Prettyman, manager. Hi. You can pull that mic the other way there.
There we go.
Do you have any information you want to give us further, Brandy, or any comments you want to make?
Really, this is to enhance the DIY craft studio that will be at that location. It is not the main source of income for this particular location. It is an add-on service. So that's pretty much it.
Do any commissioners have questions of Ms. Prettyman? This is a public hearing, so does anyone else have any comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Warren and seconded by Commissioner Klug. Any comments? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Kelly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next is item 6.2, public hearing and resolution 2022-165, increase appropriations for 2022 fiscal year special revenue fund budgets. Jenny Rock.
Good afternoon. Today we have a series of our annual year-end fiscal agenda items to facilitate a few transfers and obtain additional budget appropriation to ensure we're in compliance with state statute. The first item, 6.2, requests a total of $249,116 in additional budget appropriation for 3 special revenue funds within the Sarpy County budget. Nebraska Statute 13-511 outlines the requirements for revision of an adopted budget, which includes a public hearing. Amounts requested, along with the reasons for needing an increase in the appropriated budget, include $202,750 for costs expended on the recently issued Road Bond Series 2022 that is being accounted for within the county's general ledger, $22,720 due to a permanent cash transfer to the E911 Wireless Sinking Fund due to a Public Service Commission requirement to transfer all unspent funds at year-end. And finally, $23,646 for the Child Support Incentive Fund due to additional federal funds received after the adoption of the fiscal year 2022 budget. With your approval today, our fiscal year 2022 budget will be revised to reflect these changes and filed with the Nebraska Auditor of Public Accounts. I'm happy to answer any questions you have on this.
Any questions from the commissioners to start? This is a public hearing. Any comments for consideration or questions from the public? Can you approach the podium? Please give your name and address for the record.
Matthew Lawrence, 7421 South 53rd Street, Omaha, Nebraska 68157. Appears it's a budget increase and probably should be going the other way if we have the opportunity to decrease the budget instead. So I would just either consider voting no or maybe amending it to reverse the budget the other way. Thank you.
What would be your reason for that? Not knowing exactly what was in that, what would be your reason for that? Just because you want lower taxes?
Basically, yeah. And, the trend I've noticed is that budgets keep going up, and recently we got a lot of tax increases on our properties, so I feel like this would just help to work against that. So if
Okay, but do you know the specifics of the 3 items?
I looked at them a little bit earlier, and if they budgeted previously for these, then either they need to wait till next year and add it into that next year's budget, or they should have planned for it to begin with.
Okay. The items that were mentioned, and I'm only bringing this up because I think we're all very mindful of increases and taxes and everything, and a lot has to do with, obviously, we have taxes and we have a levy that will be looked at later, but we also have a lot going on with the inflationary period that we're in, and what it's also driving up the price of houses, which your valuation has gone up quite a bit,
Right.
which is driving a lot of that. And then part of that, one other piece, I just want to remind you, with the Sarpy County levy, it's 12% of your tax dollar. 12%. So 12 cents out of every dollar is the Sarpy County's portion. You have the schools, and you're up in my area, so you're in the Omaha Public School District.
Right.
And if you look at their piece of what we're paying on the taxes, and then all the other taxing authorities that are involved in that. But Jenny, if you could come up and explain, you had an item on there where the one item was an appropriation by state statute. That, can you explain that a little bit more? Because that wasn't a tax increase. That was, so can you explain them just a little bit more so everyone's clear, please?
Yes, I'm going to do my best, but can I phone a friend in case I need him?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so these are actually special revenue funds, and so these are, we basically have to expend what's in the fund at the time. And so with all three of these, had we known that these additional appropriations were coming, we would have budgeted the expenditure level at the same time. So with the bond funds, we just recently issued the bond funds, decided to handle them in-house, so we got those after the budget was adopted. Had we known the bond funds were coming, then we would have budgeted an expenditure budget to match the revenue.
And by us handling those in-house, do you know just roughly how much savings that was to Sarpy County?
I don't. That's where phone a friend comes in, or we can find that out for you and get that to you at a later time.
My point here, this isn't a budget increase. This is because of the way, and Bill Conley is our expert, but
Jenny's the expert.
it's a crazy way of matching the dollars by all the state statutes and everything. Because there's nothing here as a budget increase. This is the revenue that you're talking about that we didn't know about.
Right.
You have to put it in the budget.
Yes.
You have to have an offset to balance that.
Right. We're not spending anything more than we already have.
Right.
Just had we known we were going to get that much more, we would have given, the revenue or the expenditure to match the revenue side of it.
Okay. And there will be an opportunity again for you to come up later on, when we do set the levy and we do go over additional budget items. So I just wanted to make you aware, you're thinking that we're spending money. In this case, we're not.
I might have caught that, but I guess like any time there's.
Sir, if you're going to speak,
Yeah,
can you
come on back
here?
up. I'm
Because it's
sorry.
being recorded, so, yeah.
Sorry.
I just wanted to speak on it in case that next year gets accounted for the next budget. Let's think, okay, you increased it this time, and then they go, okay, well, that's our starting point for next year, and then they add on top of that. So that's part of the reason why I would start. But I appreciate the educating me on this matter.
Yeah,
so.
and a lot of times it's just not having an understanding of all of it. And I always like to bring this up in the public session because a lot of things happen not in this room.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I appreciate the comments.
No,
too.
thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Conley, did you have anything to add to the discussion there?
I would just echo, I think Jenny did a great job. I just wanted to echo and remind, the largest item here is $202,000 relating to the bonds we just issued. So we sold $60 million in bonds, and the state, when we have a budget, it's an expense budget. So we didn't have an expense budget for that bond. We brought in $60 million. We had to pay $200,000 in fees. Well, we had no budget for that. We got all the cash. So we're just spending the money. If we'd done this in Lincoln at UBT, it wouldn't have necessarily gone through our budget this year. And so it's a non-event from a tax standpoint. None of the items here impact property taxes, and all of them are a result of cash that we have that we expended that we just didn't anticipate. So,
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Any further comments? Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Klug. Any further comments? No. I'll do that now. I'll close the public hearing. And it was moved by Commissioner Warren and seconded by Commissioner Klug. Thank you for the good eye. Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Kelly.
Item 6.3 is Resolution 2022-163, authorized transfers for 2022 fiscal year. Jenny Rock, Budget Financial Reporting Manager.
This resolution requests additional appropriations for 2022 fiscal year budget for several departments within the general fund. Please note that the overall budget for the general fund does not increase as a result of these individual departments requiring additional budget. So this is just really a realignment of the budgets within some of these departments. So some will have transfers coming from another department that's already under their purview, and other departments will have transfers coming from the miscellaneous general budget, which contains the overall contingency budget. The amount to be transferred this year is $336,500 as compared to $995,450 last year and $754,300 in fiscal year 2020. This is the lowest amount of requested transfers within the general fund since 2014. The schedule of the budget overage was attached to the agenda items, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have on this resolution.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Public hearing. It's not, I'm sorry.
I'm just going to make one comment. So this year it's the lowest, it's 300 and some thousand. So basically what you're saying, and there's no tax increase, it's an adjustments to the budgets that you need to do.
Yes.
Their state statute. And then the other piece of that, then any departments that were over, and I think in all of the detail and all of that information shows that there was very good reason for anything being over, okay?
Absolutely.
And then it's minor in this case, it's lower than it has been, and for the most part, everybody's staying within budget.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
It was moved by Commissioner Warren. Is there a second?
I'll second. Klug.
Oh,
The motion I'll
Commissioner
second.
Klug moved. Commissioner Warren seconded.
We got it.
Further comments? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Kelly, motion carried.
Item 6.4 is Resolution 2022-164, increase appropriations for the general fund 2022 fiscal year budgets. Jenny Rock, Budget Financial Reporting Manager.
Okay, this resolution relates to our special revenue and proprietary funds and requests an approval to transfer $64,744 of cash so that all funds have a positive balance. Two of the cash transfers are from the Inheritance Tax Fund to grant/awarded funds. In these funds, the monies have to be expended first, and then we're reimbursed later. But we've claimed a reimbursement, unfortunately, will not be received until fiscal year 2023. So we have to make ourselves whole at the year end. And when the reimbursements are received, the transfers from the Inheritance Tax Fund will be repaid. One of the cash transfers is due to the closing of a fund, and the remaining transfer is due to a public service requirement. I'm happy to answer any questions you have on this resolution.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Klug, seconded by Commissioner Warren. Any further comments? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Kelly.
All agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Commissioners is adjourned.